Peace, everyone. The message today from the divine for the collective is you are prepared for the phase of your life in which you are about to enter. Okay? And this was shown to me in a really, really beautiful way. Now, I want to sit here and address that before I get into reading these cards. For the collective that I'm tapping into and the collective that I'm speaking to, you've been putting in a lot of work, okay, for the the spiritual path. Not only the spiritual path, but you've been putting in a lot of work to ultimately be the reflection of divinity. You've been putting in the work to align with the yearnings of your heart, okay? And you're at a particular position in time where you're starting to honor that authentically and unapologetically. And in this phase that you have entered, you have been in a previous phase where that phase you felt like you were ready. I just want the doors to be open wide for me, just busted open. But you were still going through a refinement process. And in that refinement process, you were being shaped and molded into the version of self that was going to be ready for when those doors got busted open for your destiny. And you finally come to a place which the irony of it all, the irony of this all has been that now more than ever you probably are feeling like you're not ready. Now more than ever you're realizing you're taking a step back from yourself, realizing the hard work that you've had to go through, that you've had to put in, how deep this refinement process really goes. And so you've decided to step back in this process and not necessarily step away from your calling because you are still doing what you love. But stepping back from the idea that this destination has to arrive, now understanding that even when the doors bust open to your soul's purpose, the yearnings of your heart, there's still the process of refinement and exploring that. There's still the process of that journey within itself and the levels that you can achieve and attain within that particular position that you've been placed. Okay? But I do feel like it's like this is someone at the precipice, at the ledge, okay? Ready to jump off board of a life that has been confining them to a life that's expanding beyond your wildest dreams, which you've been crafting with the divine. And so we're going to get right into this message channeled with the guidance of Archangel Raphael, of course. Thank you. And the first card that came out was Diamond. To me, this is speaking to a completion of a cycle within self, a transmutation and not transmutation. I'm going to cancel that word. Even though there's been a lot of transmutation in this process, it's transformation. See, they say that diamonds are made out of coal, right? Coal under pressure and fire. And that is so true. You've had to ultimately go through this beautiful refining process that felt like you were walking through the fires of hell. And in that process, you didn't allow yourself to take on the heaviness. You said, you know what? It's too hot in here. I need to let go. It's too heavy. It's too stuffy. I can't breathe. I can't be myself. And so in that moment, you said, I'm deciding to shine and to rise above it all, to really reflect the essence of who I am, because I don't belong in these fires of hell. These are not where I belong. This is not where I'm going to shine. This is not where I can be myself authentically. So you decided to become the diamond. You decided to be refined in those fires, to be able to access what your heart was yearning. The higher aspects of consciousness, freedom, liberation, Your light. You've been calling back to your light, what was yours, what was never meant for opposition to even try to siphon and to hold on to. And I'm talking about this refinement process of what you've had to go through, because it has not been an easy refining process. And in order to really address what is coming next and what is new in your life, what is in your energy field, and it's in your energy field heavy, we have to acknowledge what you've gone through in order to even become this version of self. Death to the ways that were not serving you, the false self, had to happen in order for your new self to be reborn. The true self to be reborn, I should say. And that was no easy fate. That was no easy process to go through. And because you are stepping back, looking at what you've overcome and who you chose not to be. Because the things that you've endured in life could have made you turn ugly, could have made you operate from a very primal and wounded aspect self, and to even be able to wrestle with the wounded aspects of self. Okay? And the primal self. The primal self is the aspect of us, maybe that's not the oldest, the most ancient, but she is, or he, if you're a male, the one of the, I want to sit here and say one of the most ancient physical embodiments of self. Okay? And the primal self is the aspect of self that's been hurt. I remembered when I was wrestling my primal self, and it wasn't an aspect of overpowering the primal self, but it was an integration of primal self, of understanding and acknowledging why your primal self will come to the surface, because your primal self did not feel as though you could protect yourself or show up for yourself in the ways that you were meant to. So when I integrated with my primal self, what I did was give her a voice. I didn't snuff her out. I said, "You're validated." And it was a battle. It was a battle that was really being shown to me, and it was a battle that took a while, but I remember putting this necklace on her. This blue necklace which says, "You now have your voice." And I'll listen. And I'll hear your concerns. But understand that you can now go to rest. I got this. I'm showing up. And who I'm talking to, you've been going through this process of not snuffing out, these aspects that are very crucial to someone's survival, but also that needed rest because they have just been so consumed by hardship, and now you can take the wheel of your life. The next card that came out is Thunderstorm. Okay? Thunderstorm can be considered destructive, but I'm getting electric. Okay, honey, you are coming with so much force. Your magnetics are going to just be out of this world. Okay, this is where your coming out is going to be noticed. When thunder happens, my dear, everyone notices. Okay, thunder can wake people up out of their. Oh, thank you for giving me that. Oh my God, 'cause I know where they're going. Thunder can wake people out of their sleep. Whew, oh my God, I'm feeling that. That is rushing through me. The thunder, the power that you possess is meant to wake people up out of their unconsciousness. Let's say that one more time, because I don't think you heard me. The power that you possess is meant to wake people up out of their unconsciousness. They will see God through you. God manifesting itself through you, right? We're not going to sit here and say they're going to see that it's all through you, through one individual, but they'll see the hand of God. They'll see the love and power of divinity. and I'm getting the restoration process. They'll see, because there's so many people who've been hurt and overwhelmed in their own traumas, that they feel that they've gone too far, but they can be restored, and that you are going to show it to them. Your story is God's glory, and I say that all the time. Oh, the thunderstorm is, you're meant to shake things up in whatever path you are walking. Specifically, you're shaking things up. People will notice you when you walk into a room. People will notice and hear the truth in the words that you speak, the messages that you bring. There is no denying the gifts that you have, the services that you offer. They'll know that they were hard earned, the gifts, and then that they are in safe hands. They'll have no choice but to acknowledge if they are being honest with themselves and being in your presence. They cannot lie to themselves, because you are going to be a embodiment, not judging. This isn't judging. You, again, they're going to be able to see the hand of God. They're going to be able to see a reflection of divinity within. They're going to be able to see within themselves that they're being honest. I can do better within themselves. They're going to feel like I can do better. I can show up for myself. You are going to be very inspirational and motivational to people, and they're not going to feel, because you've learned in this process to have compassion for yourself. And I can tell you, at one point, I didn't have compassion for myself on my journey. And you've learned to move with compassion. It doesn't mean that you have to take the heaviness of others, but you can see where they're at, and you can sit there and say, wow, I know that's a very painful place to be, but there's hope to grow out of it. And because you are now reflecting God, the essence of divinity, right? Of the spark that the Creator gave you specifically, they won't be able to deny that. The rainbow came out. The pot at the end of the rainbow. But if I'm being honest, what's more beautiful, the pot at the end of the rainbow or the rainbow? I'm going to sit here and say it's the rainbow. And I feel like you're at a point where it's not that you don't like material things. I believe that you like the good, you like the luxury in life, right? But in order to appreciate the good, you've gone through the refinement process, the chakra balancing, right? The chakra clearing, coming into a harmony within your chakras. You actively put more stock into the refining process and the experiences that you are experiencing on a cosmic level, okay? On the levels of other realms, the visions that you have, the experiences with the divine that you have, the messages that they bring, all of this, that's where you find your true joy. And of course, you have the pot at the end of the rainbow, which is, you're going to be comfortable in this life. You've refused to conform. Okay, this is deep blessings. The rainbow is wish fulfillment. Okay, wish fulfillment of your gifts deepening, just cosmic awakening to really the origins of this outworldly being that you are. And in this, you've had to be very patient, a very patient process. But this is a wish fulfillment of the yearnings of your heart, which you ultimately desire to do. And I want to sit here and just not pause, but reflect on something that came to me the other day. You see, the other day, literally yesterday. And I was thinking about the cosmic order of it all, and how we all have our specific roles to play. Someone may be that shaman that spiritual consultant, medium, psychic, light worker, because that is the role that they've been given by God to operate in this lifetime. A motivational speaker, someone to uplift, you know. Then you can have a yoga instructor who allows somebody to feel alive through allowing the energy and chi to flow through their body through movement. That's a very important calling. The herbalist that is helping people get rid of parasites so they can live a much more grounded life within their own vessel. Okay? And teaching them healthier ways. That's a very important calling. If you are an artist showing people how to express themselves through art, that is an important calling. Even making them reflect on deeper aspects of self through your art, that is a deeper calling. The writer who is able to express its stories and allow people to see things from a different point of view. The poet that can elaborate a beautiful message and have crowds in awe of its beautiful insights in the way it manipulates words for growth in consciousness, where it's almost like a song, so it also transverses to the subconscious. The person who has a calling to deal with children, and you may be the crossing guard to sit there and say, I want to make sure that these children get from home to school safely. The bus driver that's transporting people. You may have always had a fantasy of driving a bus, and the safety of those that you are transporting, that is in your hands. We all have a part to play in this cosmic design. And all of our strengths are different. All of our calling is different, but it's all used for the greater good, to the rise of collective consciousness. You know, the bus driver that goes and makes sure, you know, they lower the platform, and they help the person with you know, in the wheelchair, and they speak nicely to that person. They smile at that person. They gave them a different experience than they probably have all day. You see, your unique skill set, whatever it may be, is for the highest good. And it doesn't mean that you're not a cosmic being. It doesn't mean that you don't dream if you're not the spiritual consultant, the shaman, the psychic, the medium, the light worker. No, it just means that you were enrolled to play a very different part. But you are doing everything that you can, this person that I'm tapping into, to be the embodiment of self and of true self. And when I sit here and say that to this person who hasn't conformed, it doesn't mean that you didn't go get a job if your heart's yearning is in that system, right? But you're following what your heart is yearning for. You didn't conform to sit here and say, oh, my dream job, or ideally what I want to be doing, my ideal career, it's not happening for me. This is what I'm going for, because this is what I desire. Thus, the world is going to reflect that to you. Then we have the sapphire. The sapphire, I feel like this is speaking to the indigo spirit, the third eye, perception, to, again, how you see reality. And this is where your stubbornness has been coming in, because you've been saying, no, I am going to align with what's meant for me. You've had that vision. Vision is unfolding constantly for you. Whether it's, intentional manifestation vision, or actively having astral experiences where you're seeing into the astral, you're having visual experiences. And I have to make a video of clairaudience because I've been meaning to do this and how it actively plays out for individuals. But in this, you've had this perceptual shift within your belief of what life can ultimately unfold and bring to you. And you've been able to see past the falsehoods. And you've been able to align with what is true. You've been able to align with foresight of your life and the imprints, the blueprint that's been placed on your heart by the Creator to follow. And you may not have even realized that you were following a blueprint, because y'all have to listen to my co-creation poem that I made from my Whistle Tree collection. Y'all can find it in the playlist if you are interested. It's absolutely phenomenal, and I keep listening to it because I love listening to my voice. Okay, in the poetic sense, it's very healing to me. And so, because of this vision and perceptual shift in co-creating, you are creating your reality. But in our reality, it's a reality that has been predestined for you by the Creator, and you are just following, not falling, following the call of your heart. Um, the seven card came out, and it's the universe. Okay, the universe is the universe is my lucky number. Seven is my lucky number. It has always been my lucky number. It, for this card, it says universe, but it's looking like a sunrise to me. Yeah, and it is. It's kind of like a sunrise, but then like you see the stars. So to me, this is letting me know someone that is ready to allow the world to reflect to them the being and the light that they have within. And this is all guided by the stars. This is, guided by star ancestry, cosmic ancestry, the angelics, the archangelics. This is someone who is allowing their higher self ultimately to guide their life as well, to this beautiful unfolding of what it's meant to. And this is a person ultimately, like she's up with her arms in the air. Can't see it, she's more wild like that. And with her arms in the air, she's just allowing herself to be bathed in a light that is it's her reflection. And this is just a beautiful moment of being, and so present in the moment, so present in the moment, that all she's doing is basking in her energy and the reflection of her energy, that the universe has no choice but to reflect it back to her. And then we have the castle. Okay, to me, this is speaking to you understanding the royal bloodline you come from. You may not know all the details on a cosmic spectrum level, but understanding that, guess what? If we're talking about royalty, the only royalty that we need to know about, and I'm gonna just pause it here for 1 second, one moment, y'all. I'm sorry, one more second, y'all. The most royal bloodline you come from is the Creator, y'all. When we look at the royal bloodlines that we come from, if you look at the truth of it all, give me 1 second. One more second, y'all. We just gonna keep moving past this because they can't stop the shine. Okay, guess what? What's louder than some garbage trucks? Thunder. Okay, so the devil can't stop this shine. All right, because we coming with the thunder. All right, God is making it move. All right, let's continue. So when we're talking about like the castle coming out, and this priesthood, this royal bloodline that you are ultimately from, when we look at it from the context of the Creator, we ultimately have been crafted by the Creator's hand. Okay, and having this beautiful, beautiful energy within our energetic field, we don't have to sit here and put a name, to this is the royal bloodline that I come from. You've been crafted by God, the Creator, the greatest Creator of all. There is no bigger royalty in existence than the Creator. And if you are a creation of the Creator, my dear, you are blessed beyond measure. And because you are no longer denying the reflection of self, okay, the reflection of divinity, that you are a beautiful and unique creation of the all that is all, the most high creator, okay, you are standing with that pride. You are carrying that royal energy essence within you. You are somebody. You know, when somebody has the nerve to sit here and say, "Oh, you think you special?" Absolutely. I'm the daughter. I am the daughter of the creator, a father mother consciousness, the all that it's all. I am she. You are him, whoever you are. And you are she too, whoever you are. It's no competition when you know your birthright and the position that you were born into and what you have gone through to attain that royal status, that birthright. No one can take it from you. Do you understand me? There's no disrespect that anyone can truly come, that no one truly, in all essence, can even try to come near to the creator with. Out of their mind if they try to disrespect you. Out of their mind, because you've aligned with the creator. You've aligned with divinity within. I don't do these time messages, but this is saying this is the second card. Okay. I had a fourth card. It was, I think, number 4, and it was like a couple weeks. Now it's saying it's happening soon. The situation or event in question will develop, unfold very soon. Take everything as it resonates. Obviously, I do feel like this is a moment where you don't feel like you're actively ready. This is a moment where you're like, I'm willing to go through more refinement. I'm willing to, attain the highest version of self. The refinement process that you're about to enter into is a completely different refinement process of what you're walking out of. Okay? Jumping out of, flying out of, speed rolling out of, however it's going to play out of. However it's going to play out for you. Okay? This refinement process is refining yourself in heights or in positions that you haven't found yourself before, right? Where now limiting thoughts can't dictate your reality because you've broken out from that reality. You're no longer that vision or that reflection of the wounded self. You're reflecting the healed self. So now these doors that are opening up for you are reflecting that, and you're refining yourself in business and whatever it may be, your skill set. You're constantly developing that, and you're going to allow this to even take you to new heights. Again, remember in the beginning of the video, or somewhere in the middle, when I said the heights that you can reach and you can attain, what you're walking into, that's the refinement, that's the refining process that you're going through, right? It's no longer the the pressures, under fire. This is now refinement and sparkle and sunshine. How much light can you hold? How much light are you willing to hold? Okay, this is making sure you've done the refinement process through the fires of hell, walking through the fires of hell. Now you keeping that sparkle, you keeping it shiny, you making sure that it doesn't get dusty, that it doesn't get mucked up, that it doesn't have grease spilled on it, that it's not just discarded somewhere. This is the refinement process you're entering into now. Completely different refinement process, my dear. Then I did pull just a couple tarot cards because I was instructed. So of course, temperance. To me, this is the divine. Okay, this is God sending its team and saying, you know what, pour into her cup. Pour into. It's time. It's time. Your thirst is being hydrated. Okay, I made a video on that too. Man, these messages be coming through. I love it. But this is where, and look, there's a crown, and I never noticed the crown on this card before. And then we just talk about the castle, the royal status, okay, royal bloodline in which you come through. And this is, oh, and look, I never even the the archangel. I'm gonna sit here and say archangel is dipping his toe into the water, right? That means your waters are clear. This is where now these blessings can be sustained in your waters, you know, and that flow, right? And it's been a journey. You know, if we're looking at it from that crown standpoint, you had to go through, oh, I'm over here, my bad. You had to go through a really long path to even be able to get to these waters. So now you're at this place where these waters are like, honey, we're here. These blessings were prepared for you, and you arrived at the destined time. Because when you thought you were ready, with much respect, you weren't. And this is, and there's a triangle right around the heart chakra of the archangel. To me, this is speaking to your heart being now in alignment with your root chakra. This is your experiences are reflecting the yearnings of your heart, which I've been saying in this message a lot. And then we have the Six of Wands. The Six of Wands to me speaks to, you know, a messenger coming through. You know, this is where now your root chakra, the status that you're being elevated to, those that have been an enemy to you, those that have not wanted to see you do good, have not wanted to see you be successful, they're going to have to watch. And even looking at her face, okay, one is it's kind of, you know, she looks like she's proud, kind of like in awe, right? Because it's not only going to be your enemies that are going to be forced to watch, you know, because then there's like you know, there's going to be people that are going to be like, wow, when they hear your story, they're going to be like, she survived all that, and this is what she's been able to accomplish. Yes, absolutely, a resounding yes. And so in this beautiful energy, there's going to be people that are going to ultimately be happy to see your success, and your enemies are going to be forced to see your success. And if I'm being honest, at that point, I feel like they're going to even have to admit to themselves, whether this is conscious or on subconscious levels, oh, there is this light. They might, you know, some may apologize, some may not, because they don't understand your journey and your path. And guess what? Your journey and your path isn't for them to understand. They have their own journey, and if they haven't realized the royal bloodline they come from, okay, the beautiful creator, they will eventually, you know, in their own journey, discover home. Home is what I like to call it, and that's for them. You know, and so this is your way to your rightful position. You know, this is your root chakra experience. It's going to be seen, you know. And I'm not one to be like, oh, you're going to be a billionaire, you're going to be a multimillionaire, a millionaire, you're going to, you know, service all these rich people. I'm not that person, because I feel like there's something to those messages. And I'm not trying to come at any other reader who reads in that way, because I do feel the the essence for some. But again, we have to realize the role that we are meant to play. Not everyone is destined for to be a billionaire. Not everyone is destined to be a multimillionaire. Okay? You may not necessarily even want this in your life. But what you are destined is to be the pathway shower. Authenticity. See, showing people how to navigate, right, the earth plane experience, so they can come into their own wealth. And in that respect, you do create generational wealth, you know. And I do feel like some of you are meant and will access millions, but it's not, this isn't a money message where it's like, oh, you're gonna get so much money. Is if I'm gonna sit here and say this: if money is not your goal, you're more than likely, and not just that. There's so much more than that. But if money is not your goal, if that's not the thing that you are seeking after, more than likely that is going to be the thing that comes into your energetic field. You're not necessarily rejecting it, is you are following the yearnings of your heart. This is the message. This is the message that I'm bringing to those that it's meant for. And I do feel like, as far as those who are going to be really, really big in this new earth, it's not because you're money motivated. It's because you're actively motivated from the blueprint, the cause, the imprints that been left on your soul by God. And God is abundant. The creator is abundant. There's no way that you can be following the imprints that have been placed on your soul and not become wealthy. Do you understand? But money isn't your motivation, nor should it ever be. And because money is not your motivation, you won't fall for the traps that opposition may try to set up for you. Okay? You'll be able to see the facade. Oh, they're offering you 20, 30 million. But now they get to control what you say, what you wear, how you express yourself. See, you are non-conforming, thus they cannot control you, and you are not able to be bought. Because your motivation is going after the heart of God, going after the mind of God, embodying divinity as much as you can because you want to make your creator proud, because you want to attain the highest versions of self. Your consciousness matters to you more than any price tag anyone can give. And the price tag can look good. The price tag can look good. And if it's good enough, it might make you for a second, just a split second. But then you're like, nah, it's not worth it. We're living the human experience. Of course, wealth is going to look good. To sit here and say, oh, that you might not entertain the thought for a second, it's the part of temptation. But you have the strength and the willpower and the desire to always rise above temptation. Okay? And so you will. And in that, the Four of Pentacles was the overarching card for the tarot. I did forget to tell you about the overarching card for the Oracle deck, but I'll get into that too. The Four of Pentacles is your blessings are assured. What's yours, it can't be taken. So this is, and I'm so glad that that's the overarching card, because what I was just speaking to, you're still going to live a life of abundance. Just because they can't buy you. And I remember the Shannon Sharp interview with Cat Williams, and I absolutely love Cat Williams, by the way. Cat Williams, if you ever see this, I love you, sir. And I know you are blessed by the divine. And yeah, just keep doing what you're doing, sir. So he said, he was like, why would he make any deals with the devil? The devil has nothing to give you. God's the one that holds all the blessings. And look at how blessed he's been. He's gone through some things as well too, okay? But this is your blessing still coming to you. Now, mind you, your true wealth of your spirit, you'll never fully see in this lifetime. And that doesn't mean you only have couple $100,000. No, you literally may actually have multi-million dollars in this lifetime, okay? And but it's because you stay true to the journey. And you're sitting in it. It's secured. You're securing it. You're moving wisely. You're investing in the right places. You're doing business with the right people. And also, again, you're being the pathway shower of how people can attain. Because sure, the money that you get if you invest it wisely, create communities and everything like that, it can last for generations. What you build can last for generations. But one thing that is better than just building generational wealth where people can get lazy, right, is showing them that ultimately the path to true wealth is following authenticity. The path to true wealth is honoring divinity within. The path to true wealth is your health, is honoring your vessel. Honoring God in everything that you do. And when we say honoring vessel, it is, what are you listening to? What are you consuming? Are you deworming? Are you doing parasitic cleanse? Are you moving your body? Are you being mindful of the chemicals that you are putting in your body, whether it's through lotion, whether it's through, the shampoos, the body wash, you are looking at things from a very bare essential need, and not from a standpoint of you don't want the nice things. Is no, these so-called nice things, they really don't, they're not healthy to me, to my spirit, to my body. I remember when I just had this movement of like, I'm just moving away from like perfumes and stuff like that. And it was like, oh, this stinks. Like smelling someone, and I'm not saying if you wear perfume you stink. You might actually have a good, a good smelling cologne or something. I love cologne, so I had to say that. But there's like essential oils. Like I was moving into a way where I was making my own smell goods. Natural, like a scent of someone that's clean, a scent of someone that, like I remember when I was in New Mexico, and New Mexico was guiding me to, where I was meant to go next. Well, it was like New Mexico was part of the journey, and then it was like, oh, at that time my car and it went combust, and so I had like to hitchhike and stuff like that. And I was blessed by like my sister and my niece. They got me a train ticket, and when she got me the train ticket, I remember being in Albuquerque. Okay, and Albuquerque is just like a town that is, oh my god, just infested. Okay, um, with like drug addiction and just roaches, and I mean I'm talking about like even the Amtrak station. It was in like flies. It was just it was traumatic. And so I got kicked out of the train station until like the next day or whatever. So I'm like with this guy who also got kicked out, and you could tell there was just like a lot of energies that did not wish us well at that moment. And so we're walking around or whatever, and we asked somebody something, and I remember just like smelling people with like this just artificial chemical, and I'm like, ugh. But then there was like this like elder lady and really beautiful, and she took care of herself. You could tell that she just smelled clean. It was something about like her energy, and I was like this woman smells like, it wasn't perfume because there's a certain smell to it, but I was like, this woman smells like a fresh field of flowers. I was like, her energy was just beautiful, and I melted. I was like, oh my god, like she was awesome. So, anyways, the overarching card for this is for the oracle was a hot air balloon. And this is, honey, your ascension is assured, and it's an 8, okay? Listen, with the 8 being assured, that is as above, so below. So now your as above is reflecting in your below, and your below is reflecting your above, and this is, the freedom that you've been desiring. This is the ascension. This is your willpower and your perception ultimately changing the course of your reality. Not only changing the course of your reality, if you're a woman, you're magnetics. This is a deep womb sacral chakra upgrades, and where this is now just rising to higher heights. Okay, as divine feminines, our gift is ultimately our magnetics. Okay, and what we can bring to us. And yeah, you're gonna be in a plane where you're untouchable, my dear. So with that, I have absolutely loved bringing this message to you guys from me and the divine, and channeled and guided by Archangel Raphael. So thank you, and take care. I have nothing else to say. Peace from me and spirit.